Beyond the Ring, a podcast that covers all things in the stock show industry, from the informative to the insane, starring Ryan Rash.
When the world says give up, hope whispers give one more try.
And Dale Hummel.
All human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes.
Now on with the show.
Welcome to Beyond the Ring. This is Dale Hummel, along with co-star Ryan Rash.
Hello, hello, hello.
Ryan, you kept me informed via text.
You do not get to
via
talk.
A text. Bye.
You do not get to talk. You were done for a little bit. I am going to talk now. You always think that you're more important. Okay, first off, Happy New Year, everybody. Wonderful. I hope you had a great New Year, safe New Year. I would like to give my New Year's resolution, and I'm also going to announce Dale's. Start off New Year.
New Year's resolution.
My New Year's resolution is I am going to still be the same sarcastic, snappy dressing, colorful, lovable bitch that y'all have all come to know and love. And Dale is going to be less crazy.
I can't guarantee that.
That's the New Year's resolutions.
I can try. I did not make one, but I can adopt that one.
That is it. That's all it's going to be. And I would also.
I will read your text in the group messages from now on.
Oh, that's a lie. You don't read anyway.
I will read them. I will read your text.
Right. And then the other thing that I want to say is, Dale, again, this is why I came up with the fact that Dale has to be less crazy. So this podcast got nominated for Best of the Barns. And we would appreciate everyone who listens, who loves me, because nobody likes Dale, to go vote. But Dale puts on his social media, if you feel we are deserving, please go vote for us. Dale is not deserving. I am the most deserving. I have to put up with him.
I believe if there's somebody likes another podcast better, they should vote for them.
No, they should not. No. I don't care if you like another I don't care if you like another podcast better or not. You vote for me because I'm the one that's going to judge your child in the ring. Okay? Just letting you know. Vote for me. Don't vote for Dale. Vote for me.
What if Joe Rogan was on that list? Could we vote for him?
No, he's ugly and bald. And his are entirely too long. Dale sent me something to listen to his. I don't listen to these things anyway.
You didn't ever listen, did you?
It's like 4 hours long.
When you're driving, it helps pass the time.
It's way too long. Anyway, okay, so I
sent you an artificial intelligence you need to listen to. You need to hear that.
Okay, so
either that or I'm going to go through it all on here, and you don't want to do that.
Okay, I'm done now. You can go talk about whatever you need to talk about.
I was just going to say that I was distracted with the Arizona National on current events, but Ryan did keep me updated via text on everything that was happening.
That he never looked at till yesterday when he got home. Not once. Because yesterday when he flips out that we're recording, he's like, there's no current events. I was like, the world is literally coming apart at the seams around us.
I did say that. I did. Can we talk about Claudia Gay?
Go right ahead.
Harvard president,
lady.
6 months.
Well,
6 month tenure, the shortest in history. The one that thought it was okay for student groups to talk about the genocide of Israel and Jews, and says depending on the context, it's okay. She had enough pressure to step down, combined with plagiarizing herself through college and becoming the Harvard president. That's interesting. How do you think she got that job, Ryan? Why?
She's black and she's a woman.
It is. Now, are there qualified black women for that job? I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure lots, but not her.
Yeah, exactly. Why? Why wouldn't we put a little effort into getting one that's qualified? She put woke on the fast track at Harvard, and it was already going pretty quick. Wow. Amazing to me. She resigns, Ryan, but she still retains her salary and is a professor there. Just basically doesn't have to do as much work and continues to get paid as much as she did.
I can't
Great plan.
With those people, but so talking about people that got their jobs because they are black and women, your girlfriend, Camel Toe Harris. So,
okay.
And I don't even know who this person is, but evidently he's a big deal. Charlemagne the God, whoever that person is, evidently he's a big deal.
I'm not familiar either.
Okay. Well, he's a real big deal. and I mean, there's like he's got like millions and millions of followers or whatever, and so he came out this week and has formally announced that he regrets voting for Biden Harris and that he will not support them next year. And the only reason that he supported them in 2020 is because Camel Toe, because she was the black woman that got the vice president nomination. And she's just disappeared and done a terrible job, so he's not supporting him anymore.
I appreciate the honesty there.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know who this person is, but I like him now. And this has been huge news, by the way. Huge.
I have to say I've missed it. Completely missed
Imagine
it.
that.
I did catch something this morning. Biden appears to have a sunburn.
Oh, well, that's good.
Very red faced. Something about his doctor just took off a skin lesion or a potential skin cancer, and then he goes out and gets a sunburn.
Well, he was in St. Croix on vacation.
Was it St. Croix, St. John?
Yes,
I don't know where
it was St. Croix. And his New Year's resolution for 2024 is to go back next year. That's his goals for the year, is to go back and vacation again there. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of vacation, how many vacation days has he had? I don't have it in front of me.
I lost again. I don't know if this included the entire St. Croix trip or not, but the number that I saw while I was in OKC for the Cattlemen's Congress was 418.
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand how. I don't. Did you hear his first question when he came back from his vacation from the reporter? When he was getting off the helicopter? What are you going to do about the border? His response is when they approve funds, he'll fix the border. When Congress approves him funds. Do you think there's anything to do with how he reversed the stay in Mexico? He stopped building the wall, even though most of it was funded and ready to go up. And we no longer detain them at all. They come in to our country and we not only release them, we fly them in the middle of the night to different cities early on. Now we bus them everywhere, maybe pay for the hotel room, maybe pay for their college and their housing. We're covering things as a taxpayer that U.S. citizens are not getting. Can you explain this to me? How this is possible?
Well, how am I supposed to explain it to you? Why is it my job?
I am amazed. How can the public not be outraged, furious? Not just the conservative base, but all of them.
Well, I'm telling you, again, I know that you were in a Arizona funk and almost died or whatever, but like I've been saying for a couple months on here, you should listen to me more. I truly believe that if they stick with old Joe or if they get rid of old Joe, it is going to be the border that has done him in. Whether he's on the ballot or they kick him off, the border is what is going to have done the man in. I mean, because there are people pissed off and upset on both sides. And I really do believe that is what is going to have done the man in.
I think people feel the inflation. All of them feel that. I think some are still ignorant to the border.
Inflation is second. No, I think border is the winner. Inflation is second.
I believe it should be. I mean, they're both huge. What's amazing to me is if I was in another country, I was not a U.S. citizen, and I saw this open,
I still question if you are.
Irregardless, I do not even blame the people that are coming across. We're inviting them in. We're encouraging it. And if I wanted to better the life for my family and I lived in a different country, I would be right there with them, taking full advantage of this. That does not make it right, and it is going to cripple. It already has begun to cripple our country completely. So I'm not even angry with those that are some of those hardworking good people that want to come here and better their lives. Now, the cartel, the drugs that are coming across the border, all of those things, all of it has to be stopped, and we need to do it in an organized manner where we can bring good people into this country through a legal manner and a process that actually document. There, perfect. Yes. I mean, people that are trying to do it legally takes years and many, many roadblocks. If you've been in the process, Ryan, for 3 or 4 years to try to get into our country to start the citizenship process, why would you not jump ship and come through the southern border at this point?
You can even bring your dogs now, according to you.
I saw a dog and then following a person and a carrier. Do you know how hard it is to bring animals into this country from other countries? Well, even dogs and cats, depending on
because you don't like American animals.
It is amazing, and I don't know. I'm assuming they're letting them in. Heck, we're letting people in with no health verifications or vaccination. I give up. Give up. While we're talking about the southern border, I just had a text from Dylan before we started, and he had sent me a thing that Mexico is now the leading U.S. trade partner as of 2023. They took that over from China. China's response, they're buying into more Mexican companies so they can continue to aggressively capture that U.S. dollar and control us. But it is interesting to me. I would have never guessed, even though it's right here, that we did more trade now with Mexico than China. That's a good start. But if China owns a lot of those Mexican companies, I guess it really doesn't matter, does it?
I was going to say they probably own half of them.
You think China's gonna? You think electronics are gonna get a little price increase when China takes over Taiwan here soon?
Oh, no. You don't even get to talk about that. Okay, this is how out of it Dale was
You
at the Arizona National of it all. Because, I mean, he normally doesn't listen to a damn thing I say, but he does normally pay attention to what happens in China. No, I'm the one that told Dale that Xi Jinping announced that he's going to invade Taiwan.
So I have not seen that. Did he just?
So you do not get to talk anymore. You don't
tell
get to
me
talk
what
anymore.
he said. I would like it paraphrased as best possible.
He had this message that went out or whatever, and basically it all but said that he is going to invade Taiwan. I mean, I didn't hear wouldn't know the exact words because it was in Chinese, but yeah.
And obviously he needs to do it before Biden leaves office.
I mean, Lord.
Hugely beneficial for him. Hugely. I don't know. Did we mention to go vote? Go vote for Best of the Barns. Click on the Facebook link. Vote.
Vote for me. Vote for me. Don't vote for Dale. He only wants your vote if you're deserving. I want your vote regardless.
If we are deserving, not them.
No, you are not deserving. I am deserving.
Well, then it's going to be difficult to separate the two on the podcast vote. It just is. You could write in the Ryan Rash podcast. That maybe that will work. There are 4 other nominees, are there not?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't care about those people.
They have choices. They do have choices.
You're trying to get off current events. There is so much more to cover.
Okay, go ahead, please.
That the judge dismissed most of the civil counts against Trump for the January 6th riots.
Okay, that's good.
Exactly. There's that. Hannity moved to Florida.
That's almost better yet. Making a statement, I hope. Did he take Ainsley with him?
I do not know, but Hannity moved to Florida, the free state of Florida. By the way, that's what he called it. The plane accident. There's all these things. Bill Clinton. You're not going to talk about Bill?
Oh no, I didn't. I told you I didn't catch a lot of these things, but you did mention Bill, and yeah, you need to talk about that. That's important.
So this week, at some point, Epstein's flight logs and all this other information is going. It's been out there, but it's been heavily redacted. Well, all the redactions are going away. And again, this is on every major news network, NBC, ABC, even the way.
Why would you watch those others?
Way left ones.
Why?
His name is mentioned more than 50 times. 50.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that fits his profile?
As a sexual predator, probably. I mean,
I would not go that far, though. Those that accuse Clinton of things disappear. They disappear.
Well, no one they don't disappear. They get suicided, but no one has 71 friends that are suicided.
Oh, they do. They do.
Yeah.
That's about as dangerous as talking about China.
I mean, and I have wondered, and that like they probably known that this was going to happen for a lot longer than what we did. I have wondered why Hillary didn't try to get in the middle of this and replace Biden. This is why. This
would be it right here.
That's
That's very possible. It was very odd that she didn't jump in. You know how bad she wants that.
I'm telling you, they knew this was the possibility of coming, and this is it.
And if she jumped in, they bring way more attention to it.
And
prevent it.
Also, we got Ukraine's broke, by the way, and then the other war, they killed the most important Hamas leader to date. You see, there's all these things that you just ignoring.
I missed it.
This is why Dale is not deserving, and I am. So vote for me.
Vote for Ryan. I will vote for you. I will vote for you among the contemporary group.
There you go.
Other current events, you have to have something.
Oh, I mean, Maine and Colorado, and I'm assuming the Supreme Court's gonna pick that up and got Trump off the ballot.
When do we know if they're picking up this case or not? When is
it?
That?
Hasn't been announced. It hasn't been
announced. In my opinion, they have no choice. They will pick it up and they will rule against this and set a precedent that this crap's not going to happen anymore and the world will be back in a better place. But I wish it would happen sooner than later.
So, and then this is the big news of today, which I find funny. And then I will move on to other things. But so the big news of today is now the 3 head GOP leaders in the Congress have all endorsed Trump.
That's interesting.
Okay. Who else were they going to endorse? Like, I mean, seriously.
Well, some of them were probably, it was pulling teeth to get it done.
Yeah, but all 3, the speaker, the leader, and the whip have now all endorsed Trump.
So I did see a poll. I did see a poll on Iowa, and then Haley and my boy DeSantis were tied for second. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah.
And Haley is gaining money like crazy. That she is on an upswing, but
money.
I don't care how much of an upswing, you cannot overcome that big of a difference. You just can't.
I think the closest she is in any state, which I mean, in nationwide polls, it's stupid, but I think the closest she is in any state, which makes a lot of sense, is New Hampshire, and she's still like 16 points down.
Closer than I thought it would be. And I did hear an analyst come on and their comments, I think, really resonated with me, that we know what life was like with Trump. We know exactly what we're getting, and we know that it's way better than where we're at right now. They're not 100% sure with where Haley or DeSantis or any of the others are going to be. So there's even a stronger push because it is so bad now, and because it's very black and white with what we're getting with Trump. Even though they don't like a lot of things about him from a personality standpoint, they finally have come to the realization that his policies make their life better. And it's just that simple. And it's overwhelming, the number of people. I believe that DeSantis or Nikki Haley and probably some others out there would do a much, much better job than Biden? Absolutely. How would they do compared to what Trump's going to do? That's an unknown because they have not been there to do that. Could they enact some of the same policy and maybe not offend as many people and do a great job? Maybe. But at the same time, it's easy to talk about what you're going to do when you're put in that position and put under that pressure and that scrutiny. It's got to be a challenge.
Something. I promise you that.
Something.
But
agreed. Is it time? Oh, before we get into away from current events, I did spend several days at the Arizona National, and I want to reach out to the livestock community. I had minor health issues. Would that be what we call it, right? Minor health issues. That's what you called it? So I had something like, I had a kidney stone for the first time in my life at Louisville or shortly after, and I thought it was painful, very, very painful. It apparently moved around, floating around the bladder for a couple of weeks. I get to Arizona National and it hits me again. And the pain that I experienced at Louisville was maybe 5% of what this was. Curled up in a ball laying on the bathroom floor. Whatever you want to try to do to stop the pain doesn't work. but I did have some livestock friends in the livestock community reach out there. Ends up, I had one that his husband was a doctor, got me a prescription for some painkiller, definitely took the edge off and pretty much saved me. For those of you that have ever experienced something like a kidney stone, I really can't put into words how bad it can be at certain points. And shockingly enough, if it moves a little bit or stops moving or whatever, the pain is instantly gone. But I was pretty much incoherent for a 24-hour period. I can blame that on my lack of current events, Ryan.
Anyway, I would like to thank all the people that I called and texted trying to get Dale medication to not die. And so I'm not going to list all you people because you probably don't want to be involved with trying to give a human animal medications, but you know who you are.
I would have taken anything at that point.
You know who you are, and I appreciate all your efforts because I spent the majority of 4 hours on the road trying to find something for him not to die. But there's that. So, do you have any other?
As of today, I feel 100%, which is shocking.
Because he wouldn't go to the ER. We can't do that. Let's not go to a human doctor because that didn't make any sense. But
most of the ERs do not make sense. I would agree with that. Mm-hmm. It is a new year, and it is time for BTR JLA news.
Okay, well,
there's so much news. Where are you going to start?
If you would just shut up and let me talk, I'll start.
I am excited. I don't know. I do not know the results.
Oh, they're online. So again, I want to thank Chris Ham with the Arizona National for getting us the results as quickly as they did. We were able to. The Arizona National was done on the 31st or whatever, and we were able to get all those points in and tabulated and posted online on the 1st. Final points are posted. Now you're not going to hear this podcast till Thursday night late or Friday morning early. If you're listening, you have till 5 p.m. on Friday to contact points@btrjla.com with any corrections or concerns about your points. After that, they're not changing. So, and we've posted this online and all that. So again, check your points, make sure they're accurate, all those things. And then after we get all the questions answered, concerns put to bed, we'll put up another social media that final points are final and all that. But they're up, they're there. There's some very close races. Now, there's some races that are not very close, but there's some very, very close races. So, I'll be honest, I've reached out to a couple of people in those national contests that it's close and just said, hey, you might want to just double and triple check because it is so tight. I want everything to be exactly 100% correct. But that is it's up there. It's out there. It's on there. So get after it. Check it all out. We will congratulate the winners when it's all official and final. And I will do like I did last year. We'll highlight the national winners, the region winners with pictures, stuff like that. Again, now this is a very long process that it takes and all that, but we will do like we did last year. So look forward to that. Appreciate everybody being BTRJLA members, supporting the organization, all that. You can still sign up. Point year's going right now. Don't forget that you have to sign up for, regular points. And then if you want to participate in the showmanship division that we have for the first time this next year, you have to sign up for showmanship too. And so go to btrjla.com, sign up, get ready. As far as shows, we've got ones posted that have already put up, and this will lead into my next announcement. But if you want to have a BTRJLA sanctioned show in 2024, it is the simplest process in the world. And I cannot explain this, how simple it is. You go to the website, you click on the link, you fill out the form, you pay the $50, that's an entry fee, people, per species sanctioning fee. You hit submit, and then when it's over, you email your results. It is the simplest process. I think people think I'm lying to them when I try to explain it to them, but simplest process in the world. And so,
and when you say email the results, you don't even have to designate which ones are members of Beyond the Road.
no, you just send all the results.
The results, the raw results.
And in any format that you have them in, all this other stuff. But speaking of formats and things like that, this has been announced on social media, but I would like to announce that in 2024, the BTRJLA has partnered with Showman, and they are the preferred platform for show management for BTRJLA shows. If you use the Showman app, you can click on there that you're a BTRJLA show. The Showman app will send us the results directly to us themselves. You don't even have to worry about that if you use the Showman app. And so Showman was designed to be a user-friendly and affordable option for your online showman management to save your time and reduce stress. The software allows you to collect entry information and payments online, as well as sponsor payments, t-shirt orders, pins, etc. Tools for breaking classes, printing show books, and recording results are all built in. Josh and his team provide top-notch customer support from start to finish, and the Showman app has helped thousands of shows across the United States and everywhere else. So again, huge shout out to Showman app, not only for being the preferred show management partner of BTRJLA in 2024, they were very, very generous, and they became a corporate sponsor, the first and only corporate sponsor for 2024 so far. And so thank you to those guys. Appreciate their support. Look forward to the partnership this next year. But again, it's an exciting time because we're ending one year and starting a new one. So there you go.
Thank you, Showman app. I would like to recognize ShowFresh H2O for their continued support of the junior livestock industry. ShowFresh H2O will help keep show stock drinking while on the road and at the show, low cost with huge results. You can find ShowFresh H2O at the local farm store, supply trailers, and swampfox.com. We have a second sponsor today that was a part of Hummel Livestock when we brought goats from the south to the far north. Right?
Why do you get multiple sponsors?
Well,
Why?
This one just called me and said, "Hey, we need to. Can we do that?" And I'm going to, because you know what? There's a little bit of a story here behind it, and you would know this.
I did not
this
approve
young man.
this.
I agree. When we decided, and I don't know what possessed me to decide to try to raise goats in Illinois. We knew nothing about raising goats. I'm not saying that we know anything at this point about raising goats, but when we did bring them up here, because we knew nothing about that and had some cattle background, we actually tried to fit and clip them to look like cattle or other show stock, and it just wasn't being done a lot at that time. And this gentleman, Creed Garrett, who is sponsoring this episode along with ShowFresh H2O, was a part of getting those goats to look like other show stock. He'd had some goat experience, a lot of cattle experience, and has been doing this, educating others on how to fit and clip probably as long as anybody out there. Creed is now putting on goat fitting clinics across the country, 2-day comprehensive hands-on clinics. The next one, Ryan, if you would like to attend and learn how to fit your goats, because you were showing goats pretty much the first year goats were shown, I believe.
I did.
The next clinic is February 17th and 18th in Chatsworth, Georgia. For more information, the easiest way is to check out Creed Garrett Goat Fitting Facebook page, Creed Garrett Goat Fitting Facebook page, or reach out via phone or text at 812-832-0450. And once again, Creed was here in the very beginning, and I know when we first put up some fit goats that were fit a little different on social media, they did garner a lot of attention, and he was behind that and has been doing this ever since. I had a young man at Phoenix come up and introduce myself that said he'd spent a month, I think, working with Creed over the summer, and what a good experience it was learning those processes. So all good. Did you have anybody fitting your goats, Ryan? I'm sure there were cattle people.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we fit ours.
Because there were no goat fitters, right?
Right. No, there wasn't. But I used to like Creed. I don't like Creed anymore. Creed, I don't like you anymore. You went to Dale and did
I
this.
He is sponsoring the BTRJLA, is he not?
He did last year. He hasn't this year. And now he's giving his money to you. I don't like Creed anymore. We done.
Oh my! So out of curiosity, when you were showing those goats, this is a little.
It was a goat.
You only showed one goat. I thought you showed multiple goats.
No, well, she showed it multiple shows, but it was a goat.
So was there any hair? Was it summertime? Was there any hair to fit?
Oh yeah, no, there was hair. Clipped up like a little show calf.
And this a goat did well.
It wasn't state fair.
That's pretty good. Not bad. Male, female goat, whether, doe. Do we remember?
Doe. And this was a full blood, whatever from Africa.
Like recent import, like imported or born here?
No, imported.
Oh, I bet that was an ugly creature.
It was something.
Creature.
It was a very expensive animal. It was a very expensive. It was a very expensive animal. Very expensive animal.
They were the worst of them were 30,000, 40,000 coming in as imports. I thought
it was maybe very expensive.
They were expensive. Can we get a picture of this animal so people know?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. Like I was not proud of this. Okay, like it was something that like
very good.
I'm just saying I was not proud of this, and so I think maybe I burned all the pictures. I don't know, but I'll look. But anyway,
that would be great. It would be really. I mean, if that was true, and I don't doubt you, I just don't know that you paid enough attention to the goat at the time. But if that was truly one of the imports, and I'm sure we could dig through files and find those, but it would be neat to see. Here's what they came over starting, what they looked like when they first came over. Here's what they look like now. I'm going to make a prediction, Ryan, that they were more practical and a little more. No, they were probably a little more functional then. Is my guess. Could be wrong.
Tall,
just a guess.
Tall, very tall animal.
Tall, very tall,
tall animal.
Well, I'm kind of excited.
Tall for a goat, not tall for like. I mean, we're not talking like a 1980s semi, but I mean, it was a tall animal. Anyway,
did you show with a chain or a halter then? I assume a chain.
You're not going to believe this. I showed it like a sheep.
I'm okay with that. Yeah,
I didn't know what.
That's good.
Showed it like a sheep.
Nobody said this is how we do it.
No, there was no rules. Thank God, because we would have got kicked out.
The showing with the chain had to just carry over from the dairy goat people showing with the chain.
I'm sure. I'm telling you, I'm glad that this was a very short career because we would have got the most kicked out. I'm positive. But anyway, next.
Are you ready for the best topic we've ever had in 2024?
It's the first one.
10 commandments of livestock shows. This was all Ryan. He threw this at me a month ago and said it's going to take him a little while to come up with these. Texted them to me, and I think this is going to be good. Very good. Please start us off since you have all 10 commandments.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought, hey, everybody else does this, so we can do this. And Dale was zero help. And I will at least be honest, Dale admitted I said he was going to be no help from the beginning. So it did take me a little bit. But
I did not pretend that as though I was going to help at all.
Right. But I'm
happy to contribute to them.
Right. Yeah. Now that they're out there, he'll talk about them. But no, coming up with them, no. So anyway.
Well, the hard part is talking about them. Coming up with them, that's easy.
Oh, right. That's it. Yes. But anyway, I thought this would be a fun way to start off the new year. And again, for you deeply religious people, like this is all just in fun. So everybody it's just fun, which I don't even think the 10 commandments are like rooted in religion anyway, but next. So the first one, and this will like, before you like all go crazy and start being keyboard warriors and sending me hate mail, listen to me. Thou shalt not place anyone above themselves. Now, I'm sure that sounds really, really egotistical, doesn't it, Dale? And selfish and all this other stuff. But I believe now more than ever that while the junior livestock industry is very beneficial and so great in so many ways, I think now more than ever, the most beneficial thing there is that this is one of the few sports, and it is a sport, or I consider it a sport, left where we stress, emphasize, and really encourage individual achievement and success. And that has gone by the wayside, and we are in the era of a participation trophy, but not here. And I think that is very important. And I think in all things in life, people will say, don't speak this out loud. It's okay to take care of yourself first. It really is. Nobody else is going to do it for you. I'm just saying.
I'm going to tune in just a little bit here in this world of participation. You know where Ryan and I both stand on that. And I'm not opposed to sporting events that are team events and so forth. But I think
I am.
I think that the more you work at being a better individual at whatever sport you're playing or involved with or competing in, that is hopefully going to add to the success of that team, as long as we're not hindering anybody else on there and cooperating with each other as a team. And I understand the goal of working together and all of those things, but I have to agree with Ryan that in the world today, in the way our education system is, and the woke ass society that we're living in, this has been de-emphasized more than ever. And I promise you, once you hit the real world, you're going to have to look out for yourself. And I think that's part of what Ryan's trying to communicate here. And it just is what it is. And there is horrendous competition out there in the livestock junior market arena, breeding arena, whatever it may be. And if you're not putting that effort in and that time in, you're just not going to get along. It's so competitive that this is something that if you're succeeding, you're putting the effort forth and you're doing it in a manner that it doesn't matter what the next person, the neighbor does, or your other county 4-H member or whatever it is. I believe Ryan is trying to say this is on you. Is that the direction we're going with it?
No, and not only that, I mean, but you're the only one that's going to look out for you. I mean, there are other people in your life that are going to look, but no one else is going to look out for you like yourself. And it is okay to want to be number one and to want to win and to want to be successful. That is perfectly fine. That should be where we are as a society, as a country, as a world. Instead, we're not. It is normal to want to achieve, win, succeed, be the best. Although that's what we should promote. And I do feel very strongly that one of the best thing that you get from livestock shows right now more than ever is that we stress this, we emphasize it, we encourage it. So I think it's important. No one is going to love you more than you love yourself. That's just all there is to it. So embrace it.
Very good. Good start.
Number 2, remember the harder you work, the more luck you have. And, I am not going to say that there is not a luck element involved in livestock shows or anything else. There is. But I do believe this is true, that the harder the work, the more effort, the more energy, everything that you put into this, you can create some of your own luck. And, it is so hard to explain to people that don't do this, what all is involved. And it doesn't matter what level that you're doing this at, it's a minimum of 6 to 8 hours a day, on one animal. And so, the time, the effort, the energy that is required to do this is a lot. But I think the thing that I'm trying to stress here is the more intense you are in preparation and all the things leading up to, I think you can create some of your own luck in the show ring.
I would agree with that, Ryan. I think luck is in the accumulation of everything that you do to try to prevent anything negative from happening. And the less room we leave for error and the more detail we are about everything that we're doing and preparing that animal to get into the show ring and look its best. Yeah, I mean, you can call it luck that we happen to get the right judge, or we happen to be on a surface that animal likes, all of those things. But you can certainly, and we talk about it all the time right here, we just can't leave room for error. The more room for error we leave, the more chance that we're going to have, if somebody wants to talk about it, bad luck. But it's sometimes self-created, good luck and bad luck, both directions. I could not agree more with that.
See, it's so simple.
This is we're not even arguing about the first two.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Number 3, thou shalt not take anyone's name in vain on social media. And this is
now I have to insert myself here first.
Okay.
If it happens to be the gay, and he says something crazy on social media, then it's allowed. Not about how he judges or anything like that, just a crazy statement, which there are many crazy statements.
Then you're right, but this is one of my pet peeves. And again, I just wish, and this kind of reverts back to number 2. If we spent more time worried about our animals and our crew and our exhibitor and all this other stuff, and less time getting on social media and bitching and moaning and complaining, I think you'd create some of your own luck. I literally loathe all the posts that there, and whether it is bashing a judge or bashing a show or classifiers, or I mean, you name it. It is there every time I open up any social media app. Again, no one said this was going to be easy, and life is not fair. And the same thing goes for this. I'm not going to say that everything happens in a show ring or at a show or all this other stuff is fair, but that's part of life. It goes back to the thing, if you can't say anything nice, then just don't say anything at all. And damn sure don't do it on social media. I don't care if you're amongst your little group, if you sit there and bitch about the judge or whatever else, but don't go out there and publicly do stupid shit on the internet. And it's every day. I just don't understand it. I do not get why anybody thinks that is going to help anyone or anything. And I'm not just talking about bashing judges or whatever. I'm talking about anything from the passive aggressive. Well, it didn't turn out the way we wanted, but I'm just done with it. Like, just don't do it.
I think you're right here, and I think when we put things like that up on social media and it goes up there, we're probably not gaining anything from it. Where if you're going to take that time and that effort, do it in a manner that, hey, you're reaching out to a superintendent or a committee of that show, if it's a judge that you're unhappy with, and explain in a rational sense the problems that you had with this, and maybe that will instigate some type of change or be of some benefit. It just isn't going to be on social media. It just doesn't. I promise you it isn't working that way. But a rational explanation given to someone that is in charge of a show or in charge of hiring that judge, if that's your complaint, and it could be something that happened at the show, a rule that wasn't enforced or a rule that, yeah, it could be various things. But do it in a manner that hopefully it's going to be more productive. Ryan, am I allowed to read number 4 since I can take this very, very personal?
Yes, okay, but hold on one other thing. I have to interject one more thing on this. Thou shalt not take anyone's name in social vain and social media. Also, I just want to put this out there.
Does the Snapchat count? Snapchat?
Yes, all of it. And I just want to put this out there for y'all. You people that go up there and post crowd favorite, that is the biggest bunch of bullshit that's ever been, whatever. There is no crowd favorite. You didn't poll the crowd. You didn't ask other people. Nobody took a vote. There is no such thing as a crowd favorite. So again, just let it die. Just go away. Okay, Dale, I got that off my chest.
You know, with that, memes by Chase. I've sent you a few of those to see what you thought. There is a crowd favorite one that maybe we ought to post today in honor of the topic that we're talking about.
Get with it. I think it'd be funny because nobody took a poll. Nobody voted you crowd favorite. You just did that to be stupid. But anyway, next.
I will get that. So it will be up by the time this episode drops.
There you go.
Number 4, honor thy father and thy mother and those who got you there. And I'm speaking to my children because we had a little debate this morning about what we're going to do working goats in preparation for Denver, and we don't always agree on what should be done. Fortunately, there's always something being done. But this is huge, and Ryan can address it much better than I can. I grew up with minimal showing experience relative to somebody like Ryan that's on the complete opposite extreme. But I can tell you that my parents provided, and my siblings that were much older than I, everything that they could provide for me to be involved in showing livestock. And obviously I've told the story about how the livestock judging gathered more interest and took me into college and so forth. And it's all evolved from that. But people there, you hear it in grand drive speeches. You hear it all the time that please go back and thank those that have helped you get to this point. Because the competition level is so high, those that are striving to try to win at any level anymore, it seems like there is so much effort that goes into this, so many dollars and monetary investment, time investment, commitments of every sort, that it's hard to even quantify how many people had a part in that animal doing well for that showman at a given show. And I know we're preaching to the crowd here that understands it and gets it. I think as young exhibitors, you probably don't fully comprehend it, or most of you will not until later in life. But if we can give just a little bit of advice, try to show that appreciation now. And I promise you more and more help will come more with that appreciation. Ryan, please.
And yeah, I mean, you basically just said that everything I was going to say, but I'll let you do it because you are a parent and I am not. But I am one of those that got you there, people. And so I just
exactly. I'm not trying to disclude you. I'm not by any means.
I know when, I do not claim that I was a nice exhibitor or a friendly exhibitor or anything.
Okay, time out. Time out. You're
Satan.
Yes, claim what you were.
I was Satan
right now.
and I just said I was Satan, and I'm fine with that.
Okay.
And my stepfather nor my mother had any livestock background whatsoever, so we had a whole lot of help. And the one thing that I will say I did fairly right is I did thank everyone, from the people that never went to a show that were just in our barn every day, all this. I think I thanked them a lot, more than most people would. And I think it's only because I was absolutely so in love with what I was doing and so obsessed with showing, and I knew that I couldn't do it by myself. I mean, again, I'm not even going to go on record about how many animals we had on feed at different. I mean, it was insane. So I knew that it took this army to get me there. What?
Let's pick one win. What would be one of your most memorable wins?
And when I won Houston.
How many people in some manner, through guidance or actual physical effort or whatever it may be, played a role in getting you that animal to that point?
Oh, I'd say anywhere between 75 to 100 on just that one animal. Yeah. That's not me in general. I'm saying that one animal.
That actually played a role of some sort.
Yes. Like I could go through and no. And so
I think that's hard for a lot of people to comprehend.
Then they're not looking hard enough, because that's everybody's animal that wins something. Yep. I mean, it just is. And so I do think I can remember even, I'll be honest, like if something bad happened at the show, I would throw paint cans and do terrible things and say horrible things. Okay, I'm whatever. But then when we would get in the truck and go to the next one or go home, I don't know if I would apologize, but I would thank them for putting up with me and thank them for taking me to the show, because a lot of times my parents didn't take me to the shows. It was other people. And so I do think that I was decent. Probably the best thing that I did, other than actually showing and winning, was I was very conscientious about thanking people, because I knew from my operation the massive number of people that it took. And I don't think the majority of kids know until they get out and they see this in a completely different light. And some kids leave the show ring and they never come back. They don't stay involved, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not bashing them. But until you were on the other side of the ring, helping someone or being a parent, I don't think you can, the majority can fully understand or see what it takes. And I don't think that when you're a kid, you realize that your mom and dad might rather Netflix and chill than go feed with you at night. I don't think you realize that the role of an ag teacher or a county agent is normally supposed to kind of be like an 8 to 5 job. And all the time that they spend at shows and all that other stuff, that's not really in that. I don't think you get that the breeders and the brokers, they don't have to do anything besides put that animal up for sale, sell it to someone, and cash a check. So those ones that do go the extra mile, that do take the 900 phone calls, that do go to the shows, that do let you bring them and get them clipped and ready and all that other, they don't have to do that. You don't realize on the shows that, and I mean, most of those people are volunteers. And so I think we honor thy father, thy mother, and those who got you there. That's a big one. And need to be way more conscientious of it, in my opinion. And it takes nothing to say thank you. It's 2 words. And it will mean more to those people than you can ever imagine. And so there you go.
Best of the 4 that we've had so far, right there. Good one.
Number 5, thou shalt not play politics. And I know this is a pipe.
Have you got any pictures lately?
I know this. I don't even want to talk about that. I know this is a pipe dream, but I really wish that this component could be taken out completely. Not this commandment, this component of stock shows, this politics component. And we have stressed on this podcast that judges do not need to be political, can't be political, all this other stuff. And so we've beat that horse to death. And I don't know if it has helped one bit. I'm going to take a different angle today. This playing politics, it's a 2-way street. You don't have to bend on your friend to use your animal. You don't have to send the judge a text or snap or whatever, all this other stuff. And there's far more people on that side of the street than there are judges on this side of the street, if you understand what I'm saying, Dale, because there's way less people that judge than show. And you don't have to participate. You don't have to participate in the politics on either side, but you don't have to do those things. You can be one of the biggest reasons that this is reduced and go away by not allowing it on your end as a parent, broker, breeder, exhibitor, whatever you want to say. Just don't do it. You don't have to. Now it will fall on deaf ears, and I know that, but we've never brought up that side of it. That it's not just that the judges go out there and say, "Oh, well, this one's going to judge me next week," or "I da 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 da," or "That's my buddy," and all this stuff. There's way more people out there sending the stuff, bending on the people, putting bugs in ears, and you name it. There's way more of that going on. So y'all could all stop. You could. You won't, but you could.
I think, and we've beat this horse to death, Ryan, but I like the angle you've taken on this and explained that there are 20-fold, 100-fold more people pushing that judge than there is on the other side. It just is. There are a couple things in our industry right now that could bring down the industry or put it in a place that families that are wanting to raise their children in a manner with morals and just be good human beings are no longer going to participate. And that is if the politics continues and or the unethical practices on and enhancing the animals through many, many methods. And I know you've got another one coming up here that will address that. But it's serious, guys. And I don't know that Ryan and I can change any of this. We can bring light to it, and hopefully the change has to come from you, from the listeners out there. If you can be a better person and avoid it, and hopefully the next person can do the same and so forth, because we assume the show industry is going to go on forever, but be careful. There are parents out there that are watching. There are people that understand what's going on in some situations that don't want to be a part of it. And if that movement grows, this industry doesn't exist. So think about that and be smart about it.
Anyway, I just want to reiterate that that whole politics bullshit, it is one of the two things that can bring this all to a halt. I think and Dale's going to get very mad that I say this, if everyone was aware of how bad it was, it would probably already been come to a crashing, screeching halt. But again, it's on both sides, and we've all got to do our part to reduce it as much as possible. So you don't have to push or bend or the judge, and the judges don't have to fall for it. Next.
No, Ryan, that statement, not only am I not angry about it, but at this point where we're at, because it is one of the things that can bring down our industry, I think your statement that if everybody was aware with just where it was,
it'd be over.
Where it is.
It would be over.
It would be. And I'm not trying to, and Ryan nor I am trying to beat up on this industry. We're not. We love this industry. It's done everything for us. I guess we're bringing light to this to make it better. And that's kind of why we started this whole podcast. And sometimes we have to tell the truth and we have to be honest about it. And it just is what it is. We could sit here and lie to you and say that everything's great. This is the best thing in the world.
Mr.
There's nothing
Rainbows
that we
and
need
Butterflies
to
would
work on.
love it.
Yes, unicorn, rainbows, butterfly. He would. He's not going to like that statement, maybe, but I think he's very aware of it, and it's probably good that it's brought out. And I know people complain about it, but we're just. I know that Ryan, we're trying to be as honest and as upfront with you as we can, for the reason that maybe we can make change. Maybe it can happen, and again, I don't know that we can or cannot, but we have to try.
Gotta try, but. Number 6, thou shalt not be barn blind. And dear Lord, help me. Some of you people got to take the blinders off. You just really, really, really do. And
don't you think that all of us, it's at some level, way more than others, but at some level, it's hard not to be. It really is. And even if we think we're not, there's going to be a little.
I understand that it is very difficult. Again. And this is kind of how I want to tackle this one. Thou not be barn blind. You should absolutely love the animals you have on feed, because like we've stated, it's too much work. It's too much money. It's too much not love them. And so you should absolutely adore them. You should want to win. You should want to do all these things. I think that the problem with barn blindness is again, I'm not going to say that there are not times where an inferior animal beats a better one. That happens. It does. I want us all to remember this. Judging is just an opinion. Every time, I don't say it at every show, but I say it at a lot of shows. When I go out there as a judge, I am not there to prove that I am right. I also don't want people to think that I'm wrong or I'm an idiot, but it is my opinion. And if we all had the exact same opinion, there would be one show a year and there wouldn't be a lot of fun in that. All you can do as a judge, or what you should do, is go out there and give an honest opinion. And then when you grab that microphone, you talk those animals as accurately as you possibly can and explain in as much detail as you can in that brief period on why you align them the way you are. So nobody may agree with you, but if they can see what you're saying is right, and they can go, yeah, I can get that, and understand why, then you've done your job. Same thing on being barn blind. When you're listening to that judge, even though you're probably going to think 99% of the time your animal is better, listen to the opinion, and is this one actually XYZ than yours? There are if there are valid reasons that judge stated on why that one beat yours, then you got to be okay with it. But this whole, if we don't win, screw it, everybody sucks, or whatever, all this other stuff, no one's animals are good. There are, again, I judge as many shows as anybody. There are multiple animals at every single show that can be justified as the winner in a class, in a breed, as the overall. It is not a mathematical equation. And so realize that now more than ever, there are more outstanding elite animals in the show ring than ever before. And love yours the most, but don't be barn blind that everybody else's sucks.
Very, very good. We all raise and feed the kind we like. So that is going to lend us to...
That is not true. Sometimes I put ones on feed that I don't like because I think I can win.
Generally. Because you know what to take the judge, yes. But generally, that's what we're going to do. But you're right, Ryan. And I think the biggest thing, and we've addressed this before, and you're seeing this when we do back-to-back rings at jackpot shows and so forth, there are, at most shows now, several animals that can win that class or win that show, or as Ryan says, win that breed. And I think for such a long time, we just assumed you bring 10 judges in, they're all going to use this same animal. Well, it doesn't. And I'm going to say, Ryan, at the more competitive shows, we bring 10 judges in, we're going to have 5, 6, 7 different champions. We just are at a competitive show where there's elite animals of different types and different kinds that are being presented.
Yep. So, again, take the blinders off. But number 7, and I'm gonna let Dale just go at this all he wants because he's gonna.
No, I'm not.
Good. No, you're lie too. Number 7, thou shalt not lie, cheat, or steal for a banner. Okay, Dale, go right ahead, get with it, big boy. This is yours. No, actually, it's mine, but they're all mine. But this is the one that you will.
No, I'm going to keep it simple, and we've already talked about a lot of these things, and we can continue to try to encourage. And it's impossible, and I want to use the word impossible, for a show to put rules and regulations in place that are enforceable, that can prevent people from doing these things. Can they do things that are going to help? Can we evaluate carcasses? Can we do
like enforce the rules? I mean,
we
I'm
can
just saying.
enforce the rules, especially if we choose to put the rule in the book. We probably should enforce it. But
Enforce it.
again, we've said so many times, don't put a rule in there that you cannot enforce it. It does no good at all. It only hurts those that are following the rule because others will not. So, thou shalt not lie, cheat, or steal for a banner. There's the competition. And I'm going to speak of this as much from the parents and those that are helping manage the livestock, even as much or more so than the youth that are showing. Some will do anything to gain that recognition. Maybe something they didn't have when they were younger. Maybe something they're missing in life that they haven't been in a competitive event, and this is a way to feed through their kids or the young people that they're helping, whatever it may be. And sometimes we get so caught up in that competition, we're going to say, well, everybody else is doing it, so we have to do it to win. And I'm not going to argue that fact that in today's time, depending on the species, depending on the show, all those things, is it difficult and far more difficult to win doing it correctly, organically, and doing it the right way? Absolutely. Shortcuts have been in place and things have been taking place for a very long time. Are they at a level now that's worse than ever before? In my opinion, yes. My observation over the years, it is worse now than it's ever been. Are there people working very diligently to try to help curve that through different testing and different procedures? They are. And I think we've got to stop. And I think we lose track sometimes. And I have this discussion with parents all the time. Why does the youth livestock industry, the junior livestock industry exist? We all talk about it on the microphone. We're trying to build better human beings. Well, guess what? When we take shortcuts, it doesn't require as much time in the barn. It doesn't require as much discipline. It doesn't require as much knowledge on how to feed and manage. Those shortcuts eliminate a lot of those things. And I think there's people managing livestock and youth out there that, because those are being taken, they're missing out on a lot of things that we preach about, that we learn. And again, I'm not saying they're still not spending time out there, but we can do better. If our goal is to raise better kids, to prepare them to be better human beings as adults, why would we not try to do it in a morally correct manner, in a manner that's truly going to make them better people, rather than here's a shortcut you can take to get to the top? I can't even put it into the correct word, so I apologize for that. But think about it. If there's one thing on this one right here that I can say, and I know that Ryan and I cannot stop this from happening, and those of you listening are going to say, well, we have to do it because everybody else is. I understand all of those arguments. I get it. But I'm just telling you, if our goal, and I would hope definitely as a parent, and I even think those mentors, the brokers, those that are helping with the project, whether it's extension or FFA or whatever it may be, I believe we all agree we're doing this to raise better human beings. Just stop, take a deep breath, and think about, how do we do that? How do we do that correctly? I've spent too much on this one, Ryan. All you.
I mean, Dale's pretty much said it all. But like we talked about, if there are two things that can bring this thing to a crashing halt, it's the politics, and then it's this. And again, I will state that I think if everyone was aware of how much this actually went on, this industry would be over. And
it's sad. It's sad, but true.
And we've talked on this podcast many, many times that no one's going to stop cheating until they're afraid that their kid's going to be, known or it's publicized that they got kicked out or all this other stuff. Well, that's kind of the problem. Is I think that a lot of these shows understand that if we bring this to the forefront and actually confront the problem head on, that it may end it. And that's why they're not doing those things. And again, I can speak I was the poster child for what was wrong with livestock shows. And by nothing that I did, but it happened to me. And I lived through it, and I have made my peace with it, and I'm still here. And I'm still trying to contribute to this because it's what I'm passionate about, it's what I love. But I'm telling you, it is the thing that it's going to end this deal. And I can't stress it enough. And it's at every level. It's at the exhibitor level, the broker level, the breeder level. Shows don't take it serious enough or don't do the things to keep it from happening. This is the thing that at every single level, we have to do all we can to make it stop or to reduce it, because this is it. This is the single biggest thing that can bring all of this to a crashing halt.
So well put. Ryan, I want to use an example, and it's not perfect, but it's the best that I have. There were a couple Texas majors that were a little more aggressive, and I say even national shows. I can throw maybe one in there as well, on the drug testing and the carcass evaluation and so forth. And I've observed over the past years, those shows that were much more strict and advanced and serious about their testing and what they were doing, you could watch those shows and there were fewer animals being screwed with. However, it's bumping back up. Now you have a handful of fitters, brokers, whatever you want to say, that aren't necessarily parents and maybe not necessarily directly tied to that youth individual that's names on the exhibitor card and walking in the ring, that they're fearless. They're not afraid of anything that could come of this. And it's not going to come down on them. It's going to come down on that exhibitor and their family. And for some reason, maybe the parents are naive to it. Maybe they want that banner so bad they're allowing it. But even at those shows where they know they're probably going to get caught, they're not stopping. And some of those shows, and the Texas majors being those, when they don't announce who those families are, and I understand the legality, I understand all of those things involved. I'm just stating the facts. When they do not announce that grand champion was disqualified or what happened or why, the recognition that they get from that continues to build them and build them and build them, especially from a breeder or broker standpoint. And it doesn't matter that they don't get that paycheck from selling that animal, because they generate so much money off the fact that they won one of those big ones, that it's at a point that we're gonna go into this show, try to win it. We know we're going to probably get kicked out, but it doesn't matter because we're getting so much money on the backside for having won that show, and nobody knows that we got disqualified.
Mm-hmm. So, again, that's a big one and something that we all need to be extremely mindful about on all levels in this industry. Number 8, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's show stock or success. I think that we should be happy for other people when they win. And I hate getting beat. I loathe it. I detest it. It bothers me to my core. But I've never really had a problem with being jealous or upset that somebody else won. Did I want to be the winner? Yes. But I just go back, and especially as an adult, when I was helping these kids, I go back and I think of how hard I worked to win the things that I won. How could you begrudge anybody having that moment? Yes, you want it for yourself, but how could you be unhappy for someone else getting to have that experience? And this kind of, and same thing with like animals. Just because you don't own that one doesn't mean it's not a good one. There's going to be other animals out there that are good and great and elite, and you're not going to be able to own all of them. And so, I don't know. I think there's something to be said to appreciating seeing someone else succeed or appreciating the animals that they have brought to the show.
I think, Ryan, with the competitive level where it's at and the effort that it takes, because we're putting so much effort into it, you think, well, nobody else can be doing this much when a lot of people actually are that are playing at the elite levels. But as the competition strengthens, as we continue to put more and more time into it to try to achieve that success, I think we become more sour when we get beat yet. And again, I do not like to get beat in anything. And very similar to you, I think our competitive nature is very obvious and very clear. And I think it's a good thing for people to be competitive. But the fact that we just can't imagine somebody else is putting that much effort and that much work forth, it's harder for us to be happy when we think, well, we must have done more. We may have been more deserving, but you've worded it very, very well, that there's a lot of people out there putting a lot of effort forth. And if they're doing it right, we need to be happy for them.
Well, and just appreciate it, because you know the effort that went into getting yours there. So, like, don't be pissed off that somebody else has a good one, or that they work hard, or that won. And anyway, I could go on for days on that, but I'm not going to, because Dale is already probably twitching and shaking that this one has run so long. Number 9.
That's good.
Thou shalt go to the ring and watch a class before they show. And I swear to God, if there was one thing in this world, if a genie showed up and said, "Can you have one wish?" people probably be like, "Wish for me." I would wish that every single child that ever showed an animal at a show would do this. Just go watch, so you don't look like an idiot when you get out there. And I've said it a million times. I keep saying I'm going to give up on this and I'm going to let it go like Elsa does in Frozen, but I can't. I just don't understand. I don't. I do not know why something that is this simple, that takes 5 minutes, everybody can't do it. So I had to include it in my 10 commandment list.
Very, very good. And I think we've brought it up in half of the podcast, half of them.
Again,
and hopefully it's making a difference.
Thou shalt go to the ring and watch a class before they show is way nicer than thou will not look like an idiot in the show ring. And if you don't go watch a class, then you're opening yourself up to looking like an idiot.
Absolutely. I've seen my children do it. I've seen many people do it. I'm out there judging. It just absolutely, it solves a lot of things to go watch that class, period. Maybe we should approach it from the other way. Instead of just saying, go watch a class, avoid looking like an idiot. That's the new title for it. Avoid looking like an idiot. The final one.
Again, I don't know if that will be very popular or politically correct, but finally, and this is pretty simple and straightforward, but I'm going to expand on a little bit. Be humble in victory and gracious in defeat. That sounds simple, but it is increasingly something that I observe that is harder for people to do. I say these things. I don't think that I see it less people being humble when they win. I see that a lot. I more than the majority of the time, I guess I should say. And I appreciate that. I think, and there's nothing wrong in the world with you being ecstatic when you win, or your kid win, or the one you sold won, all that stuff. That is great. And you should celebrate and you should be happy. And I think by and large, we're absolutely fine in that area of this. I mean, every once in a while, maybe somebody takes it too far, but whatever. The gracious in defeat part, I think we have some issues, people. I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this with you people. We're getting worse as losers. And it's evident anywhere you turn, anywhere you see anything. And the one thing that the way I'm going to tackle this is, imagine if that was your kid that had just won. And you saw or you heard someone throwing a fit, cussing, screaming, yelling that the animal was a piece of shit or the judge was a political hack or all these other things. And you saw someone doing that and your kid had just won. You would want to go over there and rip their head off for stealing that child's moment. Same thing with social media. You don't even have to see the post that somebody puts up that takes down 5 minutes later or 50 minutes later. Someone's going to screenshot it and send it to that dad, mom, kid. Oh, look what so-and-so said about you winning. And it's terrible. And it really is so horrific. And I'm not a great loser, but I made a conscious effort when I was a child. And since then, did I have to go to the trailer and kick tires some days? Yes. When I got in that truck, did I cuss a blue streak to my fitters or whatever? Absolutely, I did. And that's okay because we're all competitive and we're all in this to win. If you need to call up your best friend and yell for 30 minutes, I get it. Don't do it where another family can witness it, and don't do it on social media. Because again, if that was your kid's moment in the sun and someone was doing that stuff, you'd be mad as hell and have every reason to be.
Great advice. And I think, Ryan, this is all part of that, going back to raising better human beings and setting that example. Because sometimes it's not even not that it's not the exhibitor, but occasionally it's not the exhibitor that has the problem with the defeat, but others around them.
It's about 50-50.
Just as much as that.
It's about 50-50.
So there's a lot to be learned from it. And I promise you, those looking in from the outside are going to have far more respect for you if you can follow that simple commandment. And it is that simple.
And one other little shout out on this. Everybody's armed with the phone, people. Everybody. And on that phone, you can picture, snap, video, all this other stuff. And just as a human experiment, the next time you're at a show and you're either watching a grand drive or something, when the animal wins, I want you to take a look around and I want you to see who is everyone looking at. The majority of the people aren't looking at the winners. They're looking at the people that probably going to end up being reserve or were in the thicket of it or thought they were. That's who everybody's attention is focused on. It's not on the winners because they know what they're going to do. They're going to yell and clap and cry and all that. They're waiting to see what the other people that got beat do. I'm telling you, just watch it one time and it may change the whole way you interact when you're standing at a ring.
I could not agree more. Dead on. This was good, Ryan. Really, really good. And when you mentioned the 10 Commandments, I assumed you were going to put effort into it. And you did. You put plenty of effort into it. I appreciate that. No, I do not. I have different words for you. Genius falls into that on occasion, but we have to qualify it sometimes. Is it time?
Time for what?
Do you have a sponsor for question and answer?
Well, I don't have a sponsor for question and answer. And since this is 2024, I am open to negotiations on sponsors for question and answer. But since I don't,
I would like to become the sponsor.
Oh, are you going to pay me?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. We need a category for we'll come up with something here. That'll be good. But as of today, if we don't have one, that means we get to jump right into.
Hold on one second. We don't have one, but I do want to thank Basic Animal Health and the Leonard family for being the question and answer sponsor this past year. Please go support them. Go to basicanimalhealth.com and support their products. But we thank them for being the question and answer sponsor for the last year and all that they have done for BTRJLA between Leonard Truck and Trailers and Basic Animal Health. So thank you so much for your support. While we're on sponsorship, I need them. If you want to be a corporate sponsor, you want to be a national sponsor, a top 10 jacket, showmanship, whatever. If you are
State
interested,
sponsor, it doesn't matter what level.
right.
There
Yeah,
are
Creed,
sponsorships
quit
at
giving your
every
money
level.
to Dale and give your money to me, Creed Garrett. If you are interested in sponsoring the BTRJLA this next year, please contact me. My number is up there. You can Facebook, you can email, all these things. We cannot do this without sponsors. It is not possible. It is not even feasible. And so, podcast is obviously pretty popular. We've made the best of the barns again for the fourth straight year. So it's one of the most popular podcasts, if not the most popular podcast out there in terms of listens. And you get ads and you get social media recognition. So if you want to sponsor, hit me up.
Excellent. It's time. The first one comes from Jenny. This one isn't even hard, Ryan. You've got this. All you. I love the podcast and appreciate what you guys are doing to educate our industry. We have shown pigs the past few years, and my son has decided he would like to show a steer for our February county show. That's not in Illinois. Nope, not in Illinois.
Well, February
When
is
do
a
I
month
need to-
away.
When do I need, I assume they're talking for next year, obviously.
Oh.
When do I need to purchase? When do I need to purchase, and what age window should they be born? You're the February. That's a major, basically the major steers, right?
It wasn't. I mean, we have major shows in February. Yeah. Again, there is no right answer for this. I mean, there are some people. We haven't even got to the Fort Worth Stock Show for this year, and there are people that have had Fort Worth steers on feed for the next year for 3 months already. And age is not. I could sit here and lie to you.
It's becoming less critical.
Right. I mean, I could sit here and lie to you and say, "Oh, you need this age or you need that," but that's a bunch of bullshit. Right? You need to find one that's going to be the appropriate weight in February of whatever. And so, but I would. The one thing that I would say is I would think that you were probably getting on it right now, as since you don't have one bought, you probably need to get on it. Because most people have their steer projects for at least a year. So
I would say for those February, March shows, most people are buying in the fall, I assume.
Yeah,
Majority of people.
I would be
For
shopping.
the following year.
I would be shopping is what I'm saying. Like now.
And because there is such a difference in genetics and growth rates, and we're slowing everything down to give more bone, to give more.
That's why I'm not giving an age, because it's bullshit.
Yeah. I think you're going to, and I hate to say this, Jenny, because you're going to have to trust that breeder, that broker to guide you to one that they believe will be about the right size. And they're not, and some of them are going to lie to you to sell that animal. So keep your eyes open, get as much input as you can from the breeder and the broker, maybe do a little bit of research on where you're buying from. And if you can find that broker that truly wants you to have success and wants your business later, or breeder, they're going to guide you in the best direction they can and try to accommodate whatever budget you have and get you the best animal you can. But you're going to have to put some faith that they will know best on how those genetics are going to mature and what age they should be. But yeah, I would say right now we're already on the very tail end. So it's time. You need to be making those phone calls. The next one comes from Jim. This one came in this morning, Ryan. And I would have brought this up as an issue in if it was not there would have been a current events if there wasn't a question on it. But I suspected this was coming. I love the podcast. Cannot think of a better place to address my question/concern. When did it become acceptable to ride a hoverboard and mini Segway through crowded livestock barns and even attempting to lead sheep and goats while on the hoverboard?
Excuse me. Oh.
I would have brought this up. I could give a dissertation on it, but I'm going to let you.
Well,
I had at least 10 people ask me about it, and I addressed it as best I could.
I'm just going to be honest. I don't think it is appropriate. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with those kids having those shows, and if they want to go play in the parking lot or whatever, or they want to ride it from their showbox to the truck, because I mean it's a long walk. Sometimes I think that's fine. I do not.
think that's even a good thing. I think that's good. Have some fun
I
and do
think
those
that
things.
is
I think it's
perfectly fine. But that's where it dies. They don't need to be going through the aisles. They don't need to be any of that. This is, again, I can say the same thing for strollers. I do not understand why people take little babies and strollers through aisles at livestock shows with animals, some that are tame, some are not. But no, I do not believe it is appropriate for them to be on the scooters or the hoverboards or whatever the hell those things are. There's 9 million of them. Actually, if I ever become president, those scooters that are all around downtown that people rent, that's the first thing I'm going to do is put an executive order that they all die and are wiped out. But
I'm surprised you haven't run over a couple.
No, they tried to. I wouldn't get on one. They tried to run over me, and I want to run over them.
So, I mean,
but
in your vehicle, I'm surprised you haven't taken some.
It's not because I lack a trying. I'm telling you. But again, if you want to be in the parking lot with it, play with your friends, whatever, leave it out of the barn. Period. Do not leave it out of the barn.
Guys, and I can't tell you when I witnessed one trying to go in between a very narrow area between the bleachers and the show ring while the show was going on, and they couldn't fit, and it was a train wreck. When I watch them leading a lamb or a goat on one, and it is a total train wreck. I want these shows to be a positive experience, and I don't want to ban any of these from shows at all. I think if we can just be smart and stay out of the barn show morning, and when it's crowded and people are trying to move stock to the wash rack or up to the ring, just be smart about it. If the barn's empty, I could care less. Have at it, or out in the parking lot. I think there's a lot of kids having fun on them. I think it's all positive. Just be a little smarter about it when the barn's crowded and people are trying to get from point A to B. Stay the hell out of the way. It is very simple. The final one comes from Wyatt. Wyatt, Dale and Ryan. I've been showing pigs, lambs, and goats for several years. If I would like to compete on a collegiate livestock judging team and become well-versed across species, do you think I should show a steer my last couple years? This might have been initiated by last week's podcast.
It's damn sure not going to hurt. I mean, I don't think it's necessary, but it damn sure not going to hurt. If you're willing to give that financial commitment and everything else to it, I'd say go for it, because you will have a better working knowledge of what it takes. But so it can be beneficial, but I also am not going to say that it's absolutely a necessity.
No, and Wyatt, it sounds like you've shown the other species and been around them. I mean, you've already got a strong knowledge base, and a lot of collegiate coaches will say, well, I just want a kid to come in that's intelligent and willing to work and willing to put the effort out. I'm not worried about what they've shown or where their background is, but I'm with Ryan White. If you want to do it, if you think you would enjoy it, I think it's going to strengthen that knowledge base and continue to give benefits that will help you later. Is it required for every successful collegiate judging person to have shown all 4 species or even 1 species? Absolutely not. But anything that you can do to better understand that specific species, it's going to help you at some point. I'm not saying it's a requirement, but definitely going to help you. Ryan, this was good. Probably Joe Rogan long, which you sometimes complain about.
It was not 4 hours.
I appreciate all the effort you put into that and all the effort you put into 2023. And 2024 is going to be that much better. I forgot my New Year's resolution. What did you say mine was?
Not be less crazy. Be less crazy.
I will try. I think it's going the wrong direction currently, but I will try. I will do my best. With that, until next week, be safe.
Y'all come back now, you hear?